the submission, it generates shock value, it generates clicks, it generates buzz. And it unfortunately waters down the actual word. But what exactly am I talking about? Am I talking about anime this time? No, it's not even that. Uh, if you go on certain parts of the internet, Reddit, but mostly TikTok, you will see some of the most crazy and lunatic and fringe ideology forming. And you have people, a lot of them seem to also be women that are middle aged and they don't look very appealing, let's put it like this. And they're creating like all these bizarre rules. For instance, if your wife or your girlfriend happens to be like 5 years younger than you, but she is an adult, so like let's say she's 20 and you're 25, that is creepy, that is disgusting, that is borderline pedophilic behavior.
Real quick, I'm not going to talk too much. Listen to some good YouTube videos in the background that sound interesting. And see if anyone wants to play and listen to this interesting stuff. Yeah, okay. So enjoy and have a good day.
Right? Now, where does this rule come from? I don't fucking know. But they're just making it up as they go. Another one is the height of consent. Like, there are many cosplayers and TikTok girls and other people that happen to be small. Like, again, we're not even talking about cartoons here. We're just talking about actual women. Like, we know their ID. We know how old they are. All of them are over the age of 18. Like, some of them are even 25, 27. But because they're small in stature, they consider that to be creepy, weird, disgusting. Right? It's pedophilic in nature, is what they're saying. Even though, like, again, the women are grown adults over the age of 18. Many of them way over the age of 18, actually. And this is when the internet starts memeing it and starts making fun of it, calling it the height of consent. Right? Because, like, the whole purpose of consent is, like, is the person's brain fully developed? Like, that's what we're asking. It's like, is the person capable of making their own decision? And if yes, they're considered an adult. But for some reason, I believe these individuals probably think that these people shouldn't have the right to vote. Like, if you want to vote, you need to have, like, a specific height, right? Because otherwise you can't consent. But now I heard it all, right? Like this is internet madness that you just hear about it and you place it somewhere in the background. It's like, okay, well, that's just noise. But this one was so funny that I decided to make a video about it. And as you can see, like, it's getting like 6,700 likes, 4,000 likes, 3,000 likes. Like, it's not just a couple of people that are talking about this, right? And this is about the weight of consent. So apparently, if you're a man and you want to date a woman that's not a fat ass, you have these people that are thinking it's creepy, it's weird, right? Like you got this person saying that 130 labs isn't a grown woman's weight. Like, these people are seething that other individuals of the world are dating women that are fit, right? They believe that if it's 130 labs, it's not a grown woman. So, people looked it up. Apparently, because I thought, like, holy shit, you know, like, is my wife really that underweight? Like, should I be concerned? Is she suffering from anemia or something? Because when my wife was at the age of 25, she was actually a little bit under 130 laps. And then you find out that no, actually it's considered quite normal from a body mass index standard. But what I think is happening here is that most of these individuals are Americans. And in America, yeah, like maybe 130 labs is actually not that common. But in the rest of the world, it is. Like, in the rest of the world, like, women who are over the age of 25 can have 130 labs or even less. I mean, 130 labs here is not even a skinny woman. Like, a skinny person can go way underneath 130. Like, I mean, fuck, I was 130 when I was at law school. Like, it's not really that unusual. And again, like, you get to see these people, and they're like, oh, are you into minors because you like thin women? Well, it's like when I was 13, sir. And I think, like, this is literally the issue. This is the problem. Like, they're comparing it with themselves. And it's the same thing when it comes to beauty, right? Like, you got these people that are looking after popular anime, like anime that's not for adults, it's not even for mature, it's usually like teenage romantica or something, like anime made for teenagers to watch. Like Uzaki-chan, for instance, very commercial, like you can see it on television. And they're saying, oh, Uzaki-chan must be a child. Because she's not part of the height of consent, but more importantly, right, like, these are the same individuals that look at video games, fictional characters like Stellar Blade, and despite the fact that the character is modeled after an actress, and we know that she is actually over 30 years old, they will say that she looks like a child, and I think the reason for it is literally because she isn't fat. And these activists, they're thinking that the only time in their lives where they weren't morbidly obese is when they were under the age of 18, so that's why probably it feels creepy for them, because I don't know any other explanation, right? Like, especially when you can actually trace the motion capture actress after which the character was made, and we know her age. And the story of the game also tries to say that the character is over the age. And all the indications, even the body proportions, like she's got breasts, she's got big ass, all of these things put together tells you that the character is over age. But then you have the people on TikTok that say, no, if you play Stellar Blade, you have childlike tendencies. And it says so much about them rather than it says about the people that are playing. Like, really, the weight of consent, right? So basically, if someone makes a cartoon that's rated them for mature, right? Like, maybe it's got a romance scene in it, maybe... Right? In order to draw the art, you gotta draw the character to be incredibly plump, fat, you know, like maybe muscular. The best thing to do is to draw it like a male, right? So if you draw your women like male characters, this is what these guys want. This is what they do. Anything else is unacceptable, it's disgusting, it's the absolute state. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.
I was gonna have Ibby join us. He's a good guy. He's good at playing. Oh yeah, we were listening to podcasts and stuff. Let's see what we got next in the agenda. All right. Tim Pool. He's pretty good sometimes. That's an hour of complaining. 17 minutes of complaining. She's cool. I mean, dude, WDW rocks. But I'm not in the mood to hear about Star Wars right now. Call of Duty goes T-Red. What does that mean? You're never gonna shoot straight again. That's beautiful. Everyone becomes stormtroopers apparently. I don't know. Anybody in the chat? No votes here. Right now, looking at Tim Pool or Melanie Mack. 11 minutes versus 17. It's gonna be a quick match. Let's do this.
Story. We have this from NBC News. Biden signs executive order drastically tightening border. You know, I just can't. You know, if we, my friends, Joe Biden's executive order doesn't tighten security. It actually codifies a limit to allow illegal immigration. Okay, here's how it works. You are not allowed to cross the U.S. border unless you go through a port of entry, and we track who you are and why you're coming here. We do this because there are terrorists and enemies of the state and adversarial nations and actors. And so we want to make sure cartels, drug dealers, people being trafficked aren't actually being brought across the border. Biden's executive order actually says it is now okay up to 2,500 people. The president is just doing things. Congress doesn't matter anymore. Electing Congress doesn't seem to matter anymore. And
We're not gonna mind doing plenty of things, but you should just smash pancake in the Hawaii Mohawk.
Two strongly worded letters from members of Congress, and I'm just outraged because where's number 3? If we can just get one more strongly worded letter, maybe Biden would finally stop violating the law and the Constitution, and maybe this country would get on track. I'm hoping number 3 will do it. But short of that, all we can do here is whinge on the internet and tell you once again that we've woken up. The Democrats have done something blatantly illegal. Nothing is being done about it. And now we're going to go to bed. And when we wake up tomorrow, it'll be the exact same.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, every day.
Bill Murray. I'm just not as funny.
I got to be honest, man. It gets harder and harder every morning. I'm not joking. The morning segment, I do the Tim Pool Daily Show, the podcast. And I wake up in the morning and I'm like, this is the same story from yesterday. Just slight variation. Democrats do illegal thing. I don't know how much I can add to that. Hey guys, it's 10 a.m. The Democrats have done an illegal thing again, and there's no more context to add because I've said all the context. So have a nice day, and I'll see you at 1 p.m.
If you feel like really bashing your head against the wall, you could get on the internet and debate with people about whether or not he's actually doing an illegal thing, because there are plenty of people out there that unironically say, no, this is perfectly fine, this is good, this is the proper procedure, these are actually good, the charges are okay. You know, Ben would never do anything illegal. Man, what are you talking about? This is all straight up. Donald Trump's the most evil person. I mean, it is comical. It is the same stuff they were saying in 2016, and there are still people that have absolutely no attachment to reality.
Look, I think this is particularly...
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it is frustrating. I think this is particularly egregious because the Biden administration, Biden came out there and was like, well, I was ready to secure our nation's borders, but congressional Republicans, and you want to be like, you made everything about Ukraine. You wouldn't get a border security bill through without funding Ukraine. Also, this actually does nothing.
Does anyone
right?
think
it
that
does nothing?
Does anyone think that works, though? Do you think that works when he says that?
I don't think it works. I just think it's a reminder to the American people that Joe Biden lies all the time. He's constantly lying, and I think that's the effect. I think Democrats should be aware of it too, because what's interesting about this is that, you know, if you're watching mainstream media coverage, they're like, well, he might face some backlash from people. Like, they're expecting a pro-immigration group to file a challenge to this in court, and that will be the thing. Like, people from the left, I don't even know how far left Biden is, but they're expecting there to be an attack from people that would otherwise be supporting him. And it's stupid to me because ultimately this is him trying to say at the, you know, way past the 9th hour, at the 12th hour, hey, I took the border seriously and I wasn't the one who was able to do anything. So really we need Congress to take action. When Congress, we know, has tried to take action, maybe not enough, but it's just this weird like shift and skirt that the Biden administration does.
I just wonder how many I mean, it's all about normies, right? So I just wonder how many normies are convinced by that. I mean,
Yeah,
I think. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, regardless of your position on borders, and I imagine I have a different one than some of you here at the state level. It's fine.
But you're admitting you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm admitting I'm wrong.
All right.
But no, regardless, there's been a serious shift in kind of the Biden strategy, like you said, Hannah Claire, the 9th hour. So I'm curious, do you guys think that this is more indicative of desperation than, say, agreeing to the
This is not a shift in the
CNN
9th hour.
debate?
This is pretending to the public that there's a shift when his actual goal is to codify, to turn illegal immigration into legal immigration. So this is what we refer to as the Ellis Island strategy. This is what Chase Oliver and the Libertarian Party have advocated for, and there's a reason why we stopped doing it as long ago when we did. We have enemies of this country who have started attacking us. Here's an interesting story. Take a look. Did you guys know that there's a secret room in Grand Central Station?
where?
The main switch that controls the trains is hidden in a secret room that doesn't have a direct access to. It's really amazing because we feared during World War II that someone would come into this country, one person could come in, and if they took a wrench and they stuck it in that machine, the entire train system shuts down, dramatically hindering the U.S. economy. So we used to have what was called the Ellis Island strategy. First, we did at the end of 1800s. It was the states can take care of immigration, the federal government isn't involved. Then we said, okay, we need to bring everyone to a central port of entry, figure out who they are, figure out if they're sick. We had a bunch of doctors and immigration specialists. People would come in, they check to make sure they weren't bringing diseases, and within a few hours they'd say, okay, welcome to the United States, have a good time. Eventually the numbers started to overwhelm Ellis Island, and they said, we can't really do this anymore. There's way too many people, so we need a standardized and national legal process. Joe Biden is trying to bring back this, anyone can come in and go anywhere they want. Anyone who's paid attention in the past 20 years knows this does not work. Anybody who advocates for this system, like this is why we're very critical of the Libertarian Party, doesn't pay attention to modern history at all. The best example, of course, being Sweden. Sweden brought in a bunch of Somalis in the 90s and then said, you can go wherever you want. What happened? They formed enclaves. They went to areas like Rinkeby, where this is a neighborhood in Rosengard, and Rosengard now is predominantly more Middle Eastern refugees, which creates an enclave where women are being forced to wear hijab. Then you have in Rinkeby, Somali refugees, had children. Those kids grew up surrounded by Somalis who don't actually, they didn't integrate properly with Sweden, so they view the police as an external authoritarian force against them. They don't listen to them, they don't abide by those rules, and it started creating a bunch of gang violence to where, a few years ago, in Sodertalia, a gang of people, Somali, in a vehicle, I think they were Somali the children of Somali refugees, with a full auto machine gun unloaded onto a bank, just spraying into the building. They don't see themselves as part of this country. It's happened in the UK, it's happened across Europe. The reason why we don't just have open borders is because we want people who come here to be given an opportunity. That means we need to find out where the best economic opportunity is, and you don't just say, come on in and go wherever you want. You end up with enclaves, which isolate themselves and form states within states. You end up with pockets like in Minnesota, where they say they're there to represent Somali interests in the United States. You are creating external groups within the United States who act in defiance and counter to our wishes as a nation, which causes problems. What Joe Biden's doing with the executive order is saying, what we all knew, it's illegal to cross the border. Go to a port of entry, fill out the paperwork. Now he's saying, I'm going to shut this border down. Only 2,500 people are now allowed to cross the border every day, which is, it's an amazing manipulation. It's an amazing manipulation. It is illegal now to let's say this. Stealing from a bank is illegal. Imagine if the mayor of a city came out and said, we're going to crack down on these bank robberies. You know, this John Dillinger and, you know, Babyface, whatever the guy's name was. What was that guy's name? I can't remember his name. And we're going to, if they rob 2 banks, we're going to stop them from robbing the third. Because what? You're basically saying they're allowed to rob banks now. That's what Biden's doing.
Yeah, it's very much not about actually stopping anything but getting their way and looking like they were the ones to take action. That's what frustrates me about all of this messaging, because really Joe Biden created this problem. He's not solving it, and he's turning around and saying, actually, you guys didn't agree with me, give me what you want, and therefore you didn't offer a bipartisan solution. It's akin to a small child having a tantrum and still getting their way anyways. Like, I just think this is not of service to the American people, and it shows you how little Joe Biden takes this seriously. This whole proclamation comes like 2 days after the New York Post report. I don't know if you guys saw this, where they did this investigation into the asylum cases. There's like 340,000 that have gotten dismissed. Not meaning that the people who were claiming asylum are deported. They just no longer have any kind of formal contact with the government. But they're still in America. They're just sort of in a limbo position, making it, you know, easier for them to live in between. And people say, oh, they can't get work permits. Like, they're here illegally.
That's not true. They're getting work permits.
Yeah, I know. This is the claim, though, because they're outside of the asylum. They're like, oh, well, now there's all kinds of... No, there's not. They're just here illegally doing the same thing as every other illegal immigrant. And this was something... It's essentially mass amnesty that the Biden administration has slipped by and is trying to ignore. Like, this is what's so frustrating, which is that the Biden administration caused this problem. Troy Niels had this statement today, Congressman Troy Niels from Texas, where he was like, all he had to do was leave what Trump had established in place, and we would be okay. And instead, they made the
frustrating thing. The politicking that has gone on since the Trump administration, in the attempt to just signal that Trump was wrong. Consequences be damned. Reality be damned, right? All we have to do is negative Trump policy that will automatically be good. That is because almost the entirety of the Democrat Party is completely consumed by their ideology. You cannot believe that Donald Trump is actually like a Nazi, right? Like, you can't actually really believe that. They're insane people.
Take a look at this tweet from Jenny Terre. Migrants in any of the following categories are exempt from Biden's asylum restrictions: unaccompanied minors, those who claim credible fear, those who come from countries that won't accept deports, like China, those with medical emergencies, and trafficking victims. Mexico doesn't accept deportees.
None of that stuff sounds unreasonable. I mean,
no. The issue is, his executive action is an opportunity for him to go on TV and say the Republicans have blocked me, so I'll do it by executive order. I'm securing the border. And all of his ignorant and naive voter base, default liberals, go, oh, see, you know, he's getting stuff done. And what they don't realize is everything he's doing emboldens illegal immigration.
Well, the credible fear qualifier seems like it could be the most ambiguous thing of all time, right?
Of course.
Yes, intentionally. Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe, and we'll see you all there.
Let's see what else we got in the menu for YouTube. Apparently, let's see. Well, yes, it does, actually. But unless they think you're done. What? I kind of want to see this. Alright, Melanie Mac was going to be next. But this... What? Oh, come on, man. Really? Okay.
Remember the Concord reveal during PlayStation's State of Play? Well, gamers aren't very happy with that game. They're getting a lot of heat. A lot of heat. And apparently they don't care. This is from Grums. Update PlayStation-owned studio Firewalk Studios has heard your complaints about Concord and ignored them. Sources tell me internal emails show the Concord team is shrugging off the criticism of their characters as white noise and dismissing it, very much in their own bubble. Meanwhile, the trailer has over 44K dislikes, and their lead character, designer, bashes who what folks, and is rumored to be the one who pushed for the character lineup to be super woke. They are in for a rude surprise. Meanwhile, Sony will be forcing PC players to register for PSN with this game and barring it from sale in 177 countries. Vote with your wallets. And I 100% agree. In case you've been in the dark on this, this is the game where even the robots have pronouns in their stuff, and the people associated with the game are pretty bad. They've been out there kind of being nasty, you know, of course, going after certain groups of people and stuff like that. And the backlash for this game isn't just hitting the Sony trailer, which does have absolutely 44,000 dislikes. Even the old one from a year ago, people went in and ratioed. Here's this one. This one's from 1 year ago. 8.1 thousand dislikes to 3.4. And you go up here. Here's the trailer from 5 days ago. That's been hit 44,000 to 5,000. Here's something from GameSpot. Even this one's been hit 4,000 to 516. And then there's this one from IGN, 10,000 to 995 likes. So they're getting a lot of heat right now. So, you know, we live in an era where gaming can thrive or fail on a whim. I don't know if they want to really go down this path. Sony is very arrogant. They have a history of this. Remember, was it the PlayStation 3? The PlayStation 3 debuted at a huge price increase compared to PlayStation 2, which was, I think, mostly because of two factors. The emotion engine that they put in it, where it had all the parts were made by them. It's like it was all made by Sony. They didn't outsource, kind of like they do now. Like basically, like the Xbox, for example, is like an AMD RAN system, I think. But Sony was like, yeah, they'll pay the price. It's PlayStation. They're gonna pay the price and they'll like it. What happened? Well, everybody went to Xbox. So things like that can happen, and people are getting laid off left and right. Now, here's some more layoffs. More layoffs. Dead by Daylight developer Behavior Interactive announces it will lay off up to 95 employees, many located in Montreal. I talked about layoffs yesterday. And here's some more. It's not getting better. I'm pretty sure this company has been working with one of those DEI groups as well. I think this one works with gamers, the GAYMERS group, kind of like Sweet Baby. You can tell where their focus is when it comes to helping people make games. Dead by Daylight seems to be their biggest game. I think they still make stuff for it. And I think they just still update that game. Here's Jurassic World, Beyond the Wall. To be honest, the only game on here I played is Dead by Daylight. But they're laying people off. 95 people. You're out of there. Gone. Just like that. Mostly in Montreal. So layoffs left and right. But yeah, let's tell gamers to F off and ignore them. Like the Sony Concord developers are. I mean, there's there's real shit going on in gaming right now. People are starting to organize and boycott. You saw it recently with this game. This game was worked on, I believe, by Sweet Baby Inc. It's on the Sweet Baby Detected site that Brutus made. And there's like 13 people playing it on Steam. That's it. It got crushed by that boycott that happened. Nobody bought it, so they had to discount it. And now the developer, he's out there playing victim. Look at this. Okay, well, this picture says 17. I saw Ryan did a video on it, and when he showed it, it was like 13 people. That's not good, man. So, yeah, he's out there playing victim, saying nobody bought this game because of who he is. And that's just not the case. I don't understand why this game needed a diversity group to work on it when it was developed by black dude and it stars black dude. Why did you need to have Sweet Baby come in other than to maybe just throw them some money? I think that this game probably could have done a little bit better if it wasn't associated with that company. So that's what's going on. Lots of layoffs. Sony thinks they're too big to fail. Ignoring all the criticism. This Concord game, it's going to be the next shit show for sure. Everything for this game is getting ratio. My favorite character in this game is this one. I love this character. Amazing she/her character. I love that even her icon is a rainbow. It's amazing. Amazing. So, looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be fun. And I'm going to tell you something. This game probably wasn't cheap to make. None of them are cheap to make anymore. Vote with your wallets. Vote with your wallets. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed, hit that notification bell, and I will see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters.
Looks like that was a second place match. What are we going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? We got Yellow Flash still jabbing on. Alright, he's good. Let's see what else we got on the file here. Poor Deku. He's my favorite character. I could relate with him. What do you want? It's an hour long. What's this guy doing? 20 minutes? Let's check her out for a minute.
It's gay. I mean, more than it already is. This
Taking a little, gotta make
Pride
some coffee, so let's
themed
watch her
skins,
for a minute.
Including transgender colored bullets. Now let's talk about how tone deaf this is for a number of reasons. I'm going to dive into this video. First, we have Grums, who highlighted this. He said, imagine defending trans bullets for Activision and Call of Duty at all cost when this is the recent history of mass pew-pewing. Okay? Look at this. This pew-pewer identified as non-binary. This pew-pewer identified as trans, cross-dresser, trans, okay? So you have these actual terrorists. And also, given the, when you talk about per capita, and this isn't even...
Oh, Melanie. So disappointed in you. She's using Windows 11. I gotta say, though, it's a nice operating system. But you'd expect base people to use Windows 10 or Linux, right? I mean, I use Windows 10, but how much longer do we have with that, right? Yeah. But yeah, Windows 11. with the AI stuff that came out recently, you'd think that she'd be maybe looking into getting some Linux-based, Ubuntu perhaps, or Mint. There's different variations of the Linux operating system I could recommend. Myself, I'm going to stick with Windows 10 for a little bit. It's been pretty comfy. Windows 11 is not bad, but it's just as creepy. But I have it on one computer, and it's very nice. But as nice as it is, I'll stick with Windows 10 on my main machines. Anyway, let's keep going with what she's talking about.
Think about that dude with a knife at the movie theater recently. The guy pretending to be a woman, a trans. I don't believe transgender is real. I think it's demonic oppression or some people just wanting attention, but there's no such thing as an actual transgender person. All right, I think it's demonic. So anyway, when you factor in per capita the amount of the violence that has been going on within this community and within trans identified individuals, it's been astonishing. And then here you have bullets that are painted in the trans flag colors. So not only is this tone deaf for the reasons of these terrorists, but also, I mean, that'd be like, hey, what if they put freaking dude, I'm really canceled if I say that. But still, like, what if they put, you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna touch that. But but still, look at this. Sorry. But regardless, yes, this is messed up. Also, you got to factor in the look at the statistical data of trans identified individuals who are unaliving themselves. The unalive rate. Then you got bullets painted. It makes no sense. And even for people who identify this way, this isn't even good for them. It doesn't look good for them at all. Now, when you think about a game like Call of Duty, that the focus is going to be a war type scenario, it's going to be, you're literally pew-pewing people. I'm not using some certain real words. Some people are don't understand why I don't use real words sometimes. And it's because of the monetization on YouTube and stuff like that. You can get demonetized for saying certain words. So that's why I do it. But anyway, yeah, it just doesn't even look good for them. And when in a game that focuses on war, on pew-pewing people, things like that, it makes no sense whatsoever to incorporate LGBT stuff, to incorporate sexual identity, which, first of all, I don't even think that's real either. And I've talked about that and why I'm not celebrating Pride Month on that video if you want to look at that. But yeah, I don't even believe that's real either. But all of this in general, why are you incorporating sex in a Call of Duty game? Or cross-dressing in a Call of Duty game. Now, if you were to make bullets that had USA flag on them or something, that makes sense if you're honoring the troops who actually have to do this stuff to protect our country, things like that. But this isn't that. It makes no sense to do this. It's stupid. So here we have Yellow Flash. He shared some screenshots that apparently came from an internal email, which Grum's also verified about it. So this is what they said. I haven't read this yet, so we're going to learn together. First of all, they've got this all going on. Team. Games are a powerful medium for expressing identity and fostering connection as they allow us to tell diverse stories and create inclusive spaces where everyone sees themselves reflected. As we celebrate the LGBTQ plus community during Pride Month in the US this June. With our theme, Power and Pride, we're reminded of the strength and unity that comes from embracing our true selves, supporting one another, and telling our stories in everything we do. This is just cringe for so many reasons. This is literally a write-up about people doing butt stuff. You're really going to glorify and encourage and act like, oh, stunning and brave, because people are putting stuff in their butts. Really? Seeing yourself in what they could make poop bullets. They should make poop themed skinned bullets. Seeing yourself in what you do can make all the difference in how you show up, with representation being a key pillar of our inclusive game design IGD efforts. We're even more compelled to ensure all forms of different identities and lived experiences are showcased in our games authentically. Oh, that's so authentic. Well, I gotta give it to you. This is authentic, so they ain't lying. Oh, dear gosh. Okay. Some of the ways we've approached this at Activision is through the debut of Activision's first non-binary character, non-binary and real, Catbat from Crash Team Rumble. Oh my goodness. Catbat is also voiced by a gender-fluid actor who uses all pronouns. Even voice act by a crazy person who uses all pronouns, who pretends like they are everything. This is a circus. It's a clown show. Also, yeah, man, this is a bummer for me because I'm a huge fan of like old school Crash Team Racing. Even the Crash Team Racing remake was really good. So I never played any Crash Team Rumble or anything like that though, but obviously I won't be doing that. As you'll hear in our next Press Pause episode airing on June 12th, representation in our games sends the message that people from all backgrounds and identities are invited to play. Check out our inclusive game design resources on our DE&I SharePoint site, including an IGD overview course, workshops on authentically representing gender identities, inclusive storytelling, and more. Oh my goodness, this just keeps getting worse. Now you got these gay guns. Like, our Call of Duty team is proud to celebrate Pride Month by offering 7 different weapon camo variants, each representing colors of some of the different LGBTQ plus flags. This is available as a free gift pack for all players on the Call of Duty store. I mean, that just shows even more how this is such an indoctrinational effort. The fact that they're giving them away for free. They know, I mean, how many people are going to buy them? 8. So they got to give them away. They went through the effort to create these to give them away for free. Since when is Activision not been greedy? I mean, this is definitely an indoctrination effort and a brainwashing effort, more so than it is an actual business thing. In our offices around the world, we have several opportunities for employees to recognize and celebrate Pride alongside your Activision colleagues. Press Pause. Our next Press Pause episode will feature a conversation with members of our LGBTQ plus community here at Activision. Join the broadcast on June 12th at 10 a.m. to hear Isabel Ovalis, Associate Gameplay Engineer at Sledgehammer Games, and Ash Poprick, writer at High Moon Studios, share how their identities have shaped their lives and careers, highlighting the importance of representation in games. Pride Bingo. We're thrilled to be bringing back Pride Bingo again this year on June 26th at 10 a.m. Stay tuned for a calendar invite with more information in the coming weeks. Local celebrations. Many of our Activision colleagues will be participating in Pride community events in their local areas. We'd love to feature you in our next newsletter. Please send your photos to Camille. Additionally, we encourage everyone to take advantage of these resources to deepen your understanding and support of the LGBTQ plus community. Press policy, okay, all that. Then apparently the final part. In our offices, wait, I already saw that. Additionally, we encourage everyone to take advantage of these resources. We got Press Pause Season 1, a colorful spotlight. Straight for Equality's Guide to Being a Straight Ally. The Trevor Project's Guide to Understanding Gender Identities. The Trevor Project's Allyship in Action Guide. Learn about online safety for LGBTQ plus young people. Let's celebrate the power and pride and continue to build a culture of inclusion and belonging together. All in. I mean, a lot of this to me shows how dogmatic all of this has gone. The fact that you have to have a guide, that you have to have not only one guide, but a plethora of guides just to get a basic understanding of all their made-up rules about identities, about genders, about sexualities, and all of that. It just shows how unnatural it is. Because do you need a million guides to explain a man and a woman loving each other? No. It's very natural. It's how God designed things to be. You don't need an explanation for it. Do you need an explanation and a huge guide to give you the differences between men and women? No, it's obvious. Look at the skeletal structure. Look at the general anatomy. Look at voices, for example, this, that, and the other. There are a ton of distinct factors, differences between male and female. You don't need that. You don't need a million guides for that because it's natural. It's a part of God's design. And we all inherently know about it. Obviously, you know, a little baby and stuff, they're going to learn this more as they see it. But in general, once your brain is developed, in honestly, long before that, you know the difference between men and women. You know exactly how men and women love each other and how that all works. Because it's natural. It's God's design. So the fact that they have to literally educate you, and how many times do you hear, educate yourself? Well, if you have to be educated on something, then don't pretend it's natural. Because it's not. Here you have Halo doing the same thing, and they turn their replies off. Cringe. It's just beyond cringe. It's indoctrination. It's insanity. Now, this is why, I mean, I even made a tweet not long ago. And this is, the slippery slope is real. We have seen it just reach a crazy level. To the point where people are making up genders, or they're pretending like they're all genders, which we're even seeing Activision celebrate. It's a clown show that we're all expected to play along with against our own common sense. It wasn't about, and they used to, well, what used to be their tagline? Love is love. It's not about that, and it never was. Now, do I think that every single person who is involved in this community, every single person who's living a lifestyle, like, you know, every dude who is attracted to dudes, or ever, you know, or with women or attracted to women, do I think every single one of them are these diabolical, nefarious people who have plans to corrupt the world? No, but I do think that they are influenced by Satan, and they don't know it. Everybody has sinful desires, and some people have different sinful desires than others. And so this whole, oh, it's natural though, it's natural because I was born this way. We're born into sin. I mean, when you're a little kid, you want to steal another kid's toy because you like it. But that doesn't make stealing okay because it was inherent that you wanted to do it. You know, I think most of us would love to eat ourselves to 400 pounds by indulging in cake and donuts, but it's not good for you. So this is the same difference. Just because someone may be struggling with that sin doesn't make it natural doesn't make it okay. And it's bad for them. They're hurting themselves and they're hurting the people that they are involving in that. Again, though, I don't think every single person struggling in those sins are nefarious. I think a lot of them are, though, and you've seen that demonstrated, that a lot of people will send you unalive threats or tell you that they hope you're unalived, and all of that just because you don't agree with their lifestyle. I can tell you one thing. I have never in the history of my life, when I speak from a Christian perspective and I say, hey, promiscuity is wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. It's sinful. It goes against God's design. And according to the Bible, it will send you to hell. You shouldn't be living that kind of lifestyle. Have I ever had some straight person send me an unalive threat or say I should be unalived for that opinion? No. There are people who don't agree with me because they're not Christians, or if they say they're Christians, they're really not because they don't believe in the Bible. But whatever. They're just like, whatever. But then on that same notion, if I say, hey, homosexuality goes against the Bible calls it a sin, it goes against God's design, and God calls it an abomination, so you should turn from that so that you can go to heaven. Then it's, oh, I hope you unalive. Oh, I'm gonna beat you up. Oh, if I ever see you out, you'll regret it. Always violent. Violent responses. It's just very telling. But anyway, there you have it for this video. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to catch my live streams, you can catch them here every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central. And then my Bible channel at Bible Time with Melanie Mack on YouTube. So thank you all again. I'll catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.
Well, that's some gaming. Thanks for joining me today, and maybe we'll hop back on later. Have a great night, everyone.